Welcome into OutKick the show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. Also, by the way, not a great golfer, in case you wondered, but I did have a fabulous time playing the LIV Pro-Am yesterday. I'll discuss that a little bit. Also, just coming back from the Atlanta Braves, had an awesome time down there. Love everything that the Braves are doing and how they're building an entire business around their franchise. Talk a bit about that, maybe. Also, headed to Omaha tomorrow. Going to be in Omaha for Texas A&M against Tennessee, the College World Series final series. I'll give you my predictions and picks on that one. But I want to start off right off the top by saying Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy app. With Prize Picks, you against the number. All you have to do is pick more or less 2 to 6 player stat projections. Watch the winnings roll in. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Now the NBA Finals are over. You've still got tonight, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup, but women's basketball going on, and you can bet as well. Make your picks every single day on, how about Major League Baseball, which is what I'm doing tonight. You got a Yankees series going on against the Atlanta Braves, and here are my picks right now. Get your pens, get prepared. Let's make some money. All you have to do is pick more or less, and you will be well on your way. Here we go. Shohei Ohtani, more than 1.5 total bases tonight. That is Shohei Ohtani, more than 1.5 total bases. Chris Sale, less than 7 strikeouts. And Marcell Ozuna, more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Marcell Ozuna has been on fire, more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Shohei Ohtani, more than 1.5 total bases. And Chris Sale, less than 7 strikeouts. If we are right on that, boom, you are a big winner. Again, download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code OutKick. You get a first deposit match up to $100. That's code OutKick, Prize Picks, first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy. Again, Shohei Ohtani more, Chris Sale less, and Marcell Ozuna more. Boom, there are 3 winners for all of you. Now, I mentioned that I'm headed to Omaha, College World Series. To me, Tennessee Volunteers and Tony Vitello are going to get the series win. I hope that it's straight Saturday, Sunday, so that I can watch it happen. Otherwise, I'll watch the payoff game on Monday in the event that it goes 3. The reason why I think this is going to happen comes down to ultimately one player who is playing out of his mind right now, Christian Moore. Christian Moore guy went 5 for 6 in the first game of the College World Series, hit for the cycle. I think he's got multiple triples. You know how hard it is to get a triple in the first place? He's the best player right now in the entire sport. He is unstoppable. I like what Tennessee's pitching has been able to do the last 2 games, limiting North Carolina to, I believe, 1 run and Florida State to 2 runs. A&M has got injury issues. I don't think they're as explosive on the offensive side of the ball. I believe that if Tennessee can just pitch okay, that Tennessee will win a College World Series. It's going to be a tough ticket. I was looking at the prices, like $400 a ticket to get in on StubHub right now, because neither Texas A&M nor Tennessee has won a championship in a men's sport in a long time. Now, women's, Pat Summitt was a beast. Tennessee won a lot of women's championships, never won a College World Series, never won a men's college basketball championship, haven't won, this is Tennessee, a national championship since '98. Guys, you can look up the data on A&M, but it has been a very long title drought for the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies as well. I think this would be an amazing scene. Fabulous crowds. If you're out there, and now that the NBA is over, and now that maybe we'll see whether Game 7 is forced in the Stanley Cup or not. Game's going on, I believe, Game 6 in Edmonton tonight. If that happens, you can watch that. But over the weekend, if you have not watched the College World Series yet, I would encourage you to check it out. The most recent data I saw said that a lot of you are finding out what I have found out over the last few years, which is College World Series amazing. All-time record high viewership is the most recent number that I saw. And I would encourage all of you to go check it out. Make sure that you don't miss any of it. I'm sure that we will have a lot of Tennessee and a lot of A&M fans who are fans of OutKick, me, also Clay and Buck. I cannot wait to be able to meet a lot of you. So I will be there. I think I'll have 3 kids with me. And so if you see a bearded guy walking around with a 9-year-old and a couple of 13-year-olds, that will be me. My oldest son is going away to camp, so he won't be there. I'll have 2 of the 3 with me, and I cannot wait to get in there and check it out. I've heard Omaha is fabulous. I've been once. Bobby Bones Bobby Bones flew me in. Watched the Arkansas Razorbacks play with him. He's a really good dude. I've been to 1 College World Series game before, but that is that I've never been to back-to-back games. I can't wait for Saturday, Sunday there. By the way, last major title for A&M. I say major title because I'm looking at it right now. They dominate equestrian, and they've been very good at track and field. But the last major title here, am I right? Did they win the women's basketball title in 2011? I don't remember that at all. But the last major team sport for men, according to Adam, who is doing the research for me, football 1939. So, yeah, it has been a while since all of that has come to pass. So, can't wait to be in Omaha. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. By the way, a little bit of housekeeping. I'll be on Fox News as soon as I finish this show today. So as soon as I sign off, you're sitting around, you're like, you know what? The only thing to make my day better, more Clay Travis. Well, guess what? I'll be hopping over there. Also, I went yesterday and played in the LIV Golf Pro-Am here in Nashville. Played with Martin Keimer. He's a German dude, a lot of fun to play with. One of my best friends from law school was the caddy, walked the whole course. It was really fun, okay? We did an OutKick show. If you missed it yesterday, Hutton and Withrow for Hot Mike were out doing the show live there. They had Sergio on, Cam Smith, and Lee Westwood, I think, all as guests. I was on there with the ETSU football coach, Trey Lamb, who was one of the guys that played with me out on the course. Those guys could smoke the ball. I have awful form, and I am not a good golfer, all right? I don't pretend otherwise, but I do really like getting out and playing golf. I'm probably a 20 handicap for those of you who know what that means. That means that, you know, I'm going to post around 100 most of the time when I go out. Sometimes can play in the 90s. Have scored in the 80s before, despite the fact that my golf swing is atrocious. Just depends on the quality of the overall course. I am going to get lessons at some point. Never had a lesson. Hank Haney responded to one of my missed putts yesterday and said I had hope. I'll note that he did not respond to my golf swing. I admit that I do not have great form. I've never had a lesson. I have never been, when I was a kid, never been a member of a country club. So I did not play golf until I was really in college. I think I went to like a driving range, maybe in college, and hit it a few times. But I didn't really go out on a golf course and play rounds until I played a couple times in college. I never played significantly at all until law school, which is where I started getting out and playing. Vanderbilt Law School is close to McCabe Golf Course, public course in Nashville. I had a lot of free time back in those days, especially second and third year of law school. So I would get out and I would play. A lot of fun. But I am bad. I recognize it. Still like the sport. I like pretty much every sport. I like the trajectory that lives on. I'm a Nashville guy. Nashville has had a LPGA event, and what do they call it? A player? What's the older guys, the senior tour? They had a LPGA event, and they had a senior tour. They've never had a men's golf tournament in Nashville. This is the first one that they've had. They're playing out at College Grove. They're playing as we speak right now, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Pro-Am day before. I think it's no-brainer. LIV only has like 14 golf events, but they looked at Nashville and said, I think accurately, This is a city where there are a lot of golfers. There is a lot of demand. I think they're going to have, 13,000 people out there today, which is pretty good for this course, which has never hosted a major event like this before. It's a good move. I like competition. I think it creates a better product. We don't know exactly what's going to happen in the LIV PGA battle, but I think LIV has established that they're here to stay. I don't begrudge anybody who is saying, hey, I want to make the best possible living I can for my family. I've been defending anybody who wanted to go on the LIV Tour, whether it's Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, Phil Mickelson. You go back and read everything that I've said. People say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, I criticize hypocrisy. If the NBA had never decided they were going to rip America to shreds, I wouldn't care that they play in China. I would say, you know what? From a capitalist perspective, it makes sense for them to go to as many different markets as they can. But when you say that America is awful and then you shut up and dribble for a Chinese Communist Party, then I'm sorry, the hypocrisy is glaring. If Adam Silver came out tomorrow and said, you know what? I think we have screwed up at times by engaging too aggressively in politics. I'm going to talk about the ratings in a moment, which clearly reflect that that's true. And as part of this new era in the NBA, as a part of our new television deal, I want to make something very clear. We are a global product, and we want our product to be consumed everywhere in the world. We think basketball can bring people together, whether we're in China, whether we're in Africa, whether we're in Europe, whether we are in Latin America. Wherever we are, we believe basketball unites the country. We want to be a force for unity, not a source for division. And so we're not going to be attacking anyone for their American political beliefs. I would actually say, you know what? They're back to the Republicans buy sneakers too era. And I kind of think that's what they're doing a little bit. Because let me tell you two things that nobody's talked about. One, you know who bought the Dallas Mavericks from Mark Cuban? The number one donating Trump family in America, the Adelsons. It's a big deal. Miriam Adelson, who is the widow of Sheldon Adelson, incredibly successful entrepreneur in the field of gambling. I give the family credit. They want to bring sports gambling to Texas, which I think makes sense. And so part of that is the idea of building around the Dallas Mavericks as their franchise. They're going to give, they announced, Miriam Adelson did, over $100 million to Trump, okay? The biggest donor family in America for Donald Trump, Adelson's, Mark Cuban sold to him, okay? Second part of this, Koch family, Koch, the biggest conservative donating family across the spectrum of politics pretty much in any of our lives. Not to Trump specifically, but across conservative political causes. They just bought a substantial minority interest in the New Jersey Nets. $6 billion valuation. Now, they also, the Nets built their own Barclays Center, I think it's called, the arena in which the Nets play. So that is a larger purchase than just the team. But I do think it's significant. The Koch family now going to potentially end up buying that franchise. Not one single NBA player, owner, executive has said a negative word about the biggest donating Trump family, the Adelsons, buying the Mavericks, and the biggest conservative donor family in America, the Kochs, buying a substantial stake in the Nets. Not one single word. We're back to Republicans buy sneakers too. We've won in many ways. And it's funny because the left-wing sports media won't admit it, but basically my thesis has been proven true. And I wish Adam Silver would just come out and announce that and say, you know what, I think we got too political. We want to actually go back to just everybody else being able to be entertained by our product because we believe basketball brings people together. Right now, awful ratings for the Celtics win over the Dallas Mavericks. I am looking at the numbers right now. Game 4 of the Dallas Mavericks-Boston Celtics series. This is two big brands, right? Dallas, one of the 6 or 7 biggest markets in America. Boston as well. Celtics, one of, you'd probably say, 2 biggest brands. I think it's fair to say that the Celtics and the Lakers are the two biggest brands in the NBA. I think that's fair. Celtics have won their 18th title. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, congratulations to them. Joe Mazzulla, the head coach there. Only 9.62 million viewers watched that game. This is a crazy stat that I'm about to give you. Only the 2020 in a bubble NBA Finals that was played during football season, only that game has had fewer viewers for Game 4 of the NBA Finals in any of our just about basketball fan lives. You have to go all the way back to before Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were in the NBA to find a Game 4 of the NBA Finals with fewer viewers. I mean, you want to talk about crazy? I am scrolling through right now, other than the 2020 NBA Finals, when Game 4 was occurring during the NFL season. That's the only Game 4 that is lower rated in any of your lives. And this is significant. The overall viewership on ABC, mind you, not cable for everybody out there who says, well, nobody's got cable. ABC, it's free. And they combine it with one of the ESPN channels now, too. Lowest rating, third lowest rating in basically any of our lives. 2020, 2021 were worse. Lower than 2022, lower than last year's Nuggets Heat series, fewer viewers. Only, if you go all the way back, averaged only, according to these numbers that I've got in front of me, 11.3 million viewers. You have to go all the way back. The only one that has done worse than that, other than the ones I just mentioned, 2020 and 2021, 2007. So this was pretty much the fourth or fifth lowest viewership of the NBA Finals since Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And three of those numbers basically happening right now. It's a big deal, okay? How much of a collapse you've seen from the NBA. And let me put it into context for you finally. 6 million more people watched Caitlin Clark play in the Iowa women versus South Carolina championship game than watched any NBA playoff game or any NBA Finals game. Think about that for a minute. It's not just that they lost. It's that Caitlin Clark had 6 million more viewers in women's college basketball than any NBA Finals game did. That's pretty crazy to think about. So this is a real factor. This is a big deal. Speaking of a real factor, big deal, I want to say thank you to everybody out there. I should have said this off the top. Today is the 3-year anniversary of the Clay and Buck radio program beginning. June 21st, 2021 was the very first time Buck Sexton and I sat down in front of the golden microphone and began to talk to the largest radio audience in the country. 3 years later, millions and millions of you are listening every single week, every single month. Thank you so much for all the support you've shown. Rush is an absolute radio legend. No one can ever replace him. That's not the goal. But the goal is to continue to fight for what he would have fought for if he were still with us today. It's an honor. It's a privilege. I love the opportunity to talk to so many of you every single day. You've got at least 2 more years of me on this radio program, for better or worse. So we'll be on for at least 5 years, but we're 3 years in so far. I appreciate all of you for all the support you have shown. I meet listeners everywhere I go, all over the country. Certainly meet OutKick viewers. I meet OutKick readers. We had monster numbers that we just put up. What month is it? In May. That's a credit to you guys. Thank you so much. I started on radio, live radio, as a guest, talking about columns that I was writing on 20 years ago in 2004. Go on for 10 or 15 minutes at a time to be on the largest radio show in the country 20 years later is an incredible opportunity. And I thank all of you for giving me that opportunity every single day. It is a privilege I do not take for granted. What is the number one thing I hear from people, no matter where I am? It's you say what I wish I could say. There's a lot of fear out there in the country. I don't take for granted the fact that I have the ability to say exactly what I think every single day, and I will never, ever stop doing it. A couple of other things out there. Stephen A. Smith offered, according to, I believe, John Orand at Puck. You guys can correct me and make sure that I got that right for the first report. But Stephen A. Offered, by the way, 5 years, $90 million by ESPN. That's an average of $18 million a year. ESPN says that would make him the highest paid employee at the network. When we clip this and show a shorter version, Stephen A. came on with me, made news, I think it was back in March or April, somewhere in that neighborhood, by saying that he expected and believed that it was justified and wanted to be the highest paid employee at all of ESPN. Will $18 million get it done? I don't think so. I think Stephen A. wants around $30 million a year. That is my guess. Will he get it? We'll see. But public report from John Orand, I believe at Puck, that Stephen A. Smith has been offered 5 years, $90 million guaranteed. Congratulations to him. People say, what do you think about stuff like that? I believe a rising tide lifts all boats. I want Pat McAfee. I want Stephen A. I want Kirk Herbstreit. I want Tony Romo. I want Tom Brady. Anybody that, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, anybody that's in daily media, I want to be paid as much as possible. By the way, that includes Sean Hannity, Rachel Maddow, everybody out there. I want paid as much money as possible. I'm in favor of talent. I want talent to get rich. And I want those dollars to go up as high as possible. Because unlike the WNBA, I believe a rising tide lifts all boats. I ain't looking around over my shoulder saying, oh, he got that, and now I can't get what I want. No, I'm not a zero-sum guy. I want everybody paid as much money as they possibly can be. And if you're showing up and you're putting in multiple hours of live radio and live TV as you possibly can, live digital shows, however you're getting your message out there, I want Joe Rogan. I want all of you, Bill Simmons. I want all of you making as much money as you possibly can because in about a year and a half, 2 years, depending on how you classify it, your boy will be a free agent again, and I want to get paid. And so I'm in favor of everybody. I'm a capitalist. I want everybody to make as much money as possible, so I hope Stephen A. Gets $30 million a year or more, and congratulations to him on getting an offer that would make him the highest paid employee in all of ESPN. I look at this like I do quarterback contracts. You know how every time somebody's contract comes up, a quarterback gets a new deal and becomes the highest paid, and they keep accelerating what the next guy's going to get? That's, to me, what talent should do in media. I don't begrudge anybody who makes money. You're working hard if you're making the kind of money that these guys are, kind of money that I make, frankly. And I want everybody to keep raising the bar. And so I want Stephen A. to raise the bar as high as he possibly can. Review. Some of you said, hey, Clay, what's going on with House of the Dragon? Usually you write about it. I'm on the road so much that I'm not going to be home for a lot of these episodes. Like I'm going to be in Omaha, traveling back from Omaha on Sunday when House of the Dragon episode 2 airs. And I'm going to be, I believe, in Israel when House of the Dragon season finale airs. I think that's right. And I'm going to be out all over the place. I'm traveling like crazy during this summer. And so I'm just not going to be home. I was always home Sunday night because I had early morning radio during all of the Game of Thrones era. And so I have not been home. I might, if I'm home for the finale, try to do a live show. One live show that I will be doing, I'm going to be live right after the debate on June 27th. So 6 days from now, if you want a live reaction show, the minute the debate ends, boom, I'll be sitting right here talking to all of you with my yellow legal pad and the notes that I took during the course of the debate. We'll be able to break everything down. I'll tell you exactly what stood out to me. If I happen to be home for the season finale of House of the Dragon. I will do a live show for that. Promise to all of you that would be coming down the pike. However, I thought it was really good. Episode 1, Season 2, dark, Thrones-like in the way that it ended with incompetence. I mean, did anyone, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but did anyone think that those two screw-ups were going to go into the castle and do exactly as was hoped that they would do? Of course not. It was self-evident that they were going to screw up everything. And what did they do? Well, they screwed up everything. So nothing really surprised me about that episode. I did think it was very well done. Dark at the end, where the mom has to choose basically which of her children she's going to save. The sawing sound, tough, but Thrones-like. So I thought it was pretty good. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes. I think there's 7 or 8 episodes. I can't remember exactly how many, but I'm enjoying that show, and I would imagine that most of you are as well if you liked Game of Thrones. Okay, I'm going to finish with you guys all now. One more time, Ohtani more than 1.5 total bases. Chris Sale, less than 7 strikeouts. And Marcell Ozuna, more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That is my Prize Picks pick. Use code OutKick. Get up to $100 if you go sign up. That's prizepicks.com, code OutKick. Love all of you. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. I will be back with you on Monday. In the meantime, if you're going to be in Omaha, look for your boy. Appreciate all of you watching every single day. Thanks for those of you who listen every single day on Clay and Buck. We're 3 years in, and I'm excited about how the show is going as we sit here about 4.5 months out from the election. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Vols in 2 over the Aggies. I think Tennessee gets it done. Christian Moore, most outstanding player in college baseball right now. He's unstoppable. I think he continues to roll. Up next, Fox News. I'll see some of you guys in about 10 minutes. See y'all.